Kurt Holobaugh is back on the show, this time coming off a 26-second knockout of Joziro Boye at XFC 43. Kurt, how you doing, my man?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, always a pleasure. And wow, what a performance. You really went out there and made a big statement here in the first round of this tournament. How gratifying was that?
Man, it was great. I couldn't pictured it going better.
And 26 seconds, you landed some big knees there early on. Did you know once you had him there in that clinch and you landed those knees that he was in big trouble?
Yeah, as soon as that first knee landed, I felt him kind of crumble a little bit, and I'm like, I'm not even going to take my foot off the gas, man. I'm not going to let the Shane Burgos thing go. I'm going to finish him.
And that's exactly what you did 26 seconds into it. Now, he did pop right back up afterwards. Did he contest the stoppage at all? I couldn't really tell afterwards. I know he was disappointed, but did you hear him say anything?
No, I mean he didn't even know what happened. He was clearly done, and whenever I was over the top of him, uh, Herb Dean had to step in and stop it. And I almost let up, man. You can actually see I was going for a hammer fist, and I pulled the hammer fist down, and I just threw a couple fast strikes on the ground just to get Herb to stop it, and that was it.
Did you guys get a chance to talk at all afterwards?
Yeah, I went to the locker room because I mean the dude is super good. A lot of people look at that fight and they're like, man, that was easy. And I'm like, no, that wasn't easy because I just trained 2 months in the gym getting whooped by all of my guys, getting me ready for this fight. I'm like, I made it look easy, but if it was to happen again, you never know what could happen. The dude's a really good striker, and I was definitely worried about getting head kicked. So I'm just glad that didn't happen, and I'm glad it went the way it did.
Do you almost feel a sense of relief to kind of to get a win and get one as impressively as you did?
I do. Sitting on the shelf for a long time and not having a win for even longer time was, man, it was rough. That had me thinking, do I even want to fight anymore? Can I fight anymore? Can I compete at this level? So, I proved something to myself also getting that win like that.
And obviously, the most people outside of the MMA world, like yourself, they feel like, oh, it's just all, you got to go in there and punch the guy and be stronger and everything. But we both know the mental side of the game is huge as a mixed martial artist. What does this do for your confidence? I mean, you said you proved something to yourself, and it was really important for you, and it's a sense of relief. But moving forward here, what does this do for your confidence as far as moving into to your next fight?
It does a lot because when I'm a confident fighter, I'm a very dangerous fighter. And, uh, when I entered this tournament and I looked at the whole bracket and I checked every guy out on the card, the first thing I thought is these guys don't have UFC experience. These guys don't have a lot of fights, you know. Um, so the first thing I thought is, these are some lower level guys, and I need to go out there and I need to show that.
Now, I just finished interviewing the XFC president, Myron Malaki, and he raved about you. He's very excited to have you on the promotion here. As far as the overall setup goes for this event, being inside of the bubble, testing, making sure that you socially distance, just tell me what that whole experience was like.
It was good. First off, they had us at a pretty nice hotel. Awesome hotel. The XFC staff was awesome. They definitely did all the testing that they mentioned they was doing. So everybody was tested, and the hotel had a Ruth Chris inside the hotel. Right, Ruth Chris was paid for every night for all of the fighters and cornermen. I mean, how cool is that? You can go in a super expensive restaurant. Now it was a selected menu, right? But it was still some really good stuff on the menu for us, and it was some decently healthy stuff. And it's whatever you wanted, you circled it, and they called you when it was ready.
So you feel like everything that you experienced from the lead up to the fight, the actual fight, and just the way that they treated you, XFC is like a 10 out of 10 so far as your experience goes?
Yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 so far. I've actually had a better time in the XFC. Maybe it's because I got a win, but I think I've had a better time in the XFC than I did the UFC. And one of the main reasons is, I got to bring all of my kids, all of my family. They got to come watch me fight live for the first time, and I have a 12-year-old that I was fighting before she was born. She's never been to a live fight and she's never watched me fight live. So her and my other kids and my girlfriend, they all came out. And even after they got to come watch the weigh-ins, they got to watch the press conference, and even after that, we was able to go get into the cage, walk around, take pictures. To me, that's what it was all about. That's what made that so amazing. It wasn't just the win that made it amazing. It was all of the things that I got to do with my family down there.
Yeah, and that's what you said to me previously when we did our interview before the fight. What did your kids say afterwards, after they see you go in and starch a guy in 26 seconds?
Man, look, they were just excited, and like I said, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Went in there, got the win in front of, all of my kids. And I had some other family down there too. I had my dad and my uncle who, my uncle Michael Simmons, who is a retired sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps. And it was on Veterans Day. I really wanted to walk out with an American flag, but we just didn't get one in time, and I wanted to, represent him and, our country for the fight also being on Veterans Day. So it's not only just having my kids there too, it's having him there. The emotions were unexplainable. I had to hold emotions back since the day of weigh-ins.
Well, again, congratulations. And as everyone knows, this fight was on, this whole fight card was on NBC Sports. You have a lot of support, anyways. I mean, your family was there in attendance on the night of. But what did you hear from all the people back home that support you, that got a chance to watch it on NBC Sports? How did they like that?
Just everybody reaching out, everybody giving me their support. It's so hard to, check social media, especially my Facebook after a fight like this, because I feel like there's no way that I can see everybody's posts because there's just so many coming in, so many congratulations. And like I said, that's what it's all about. That's what I love. I love the after the fight feeling when everybody's congratulating you, and, your social media and everything's just blowing up.
Did anybody talk to you about the experience of actually watching the fight, like on their smartphone or on their iPad on the NBC Sports app? Because I know some people, they've been kind of mixed about that, even with Bellator on the CBS Sports app.
Yeah, so I actually got my cousin, Jack Brumfield, who's he's retired now, but he's actually an undefeated pro fighter, and he helped me a lot for this training camp, along with my other teammates. And he had just got off work, and he said, "Man, I had to download the NBC Sports app." And he said, "Damn," he said, "they had gave me 10 free minutes," and he's like, "I just caught it like the fight before yours," and I'm like, my minutes was almost up, and I was about to have to buy it. And then he said, "Well, you saved me some money because you entered the fight early." But he sounded like the app was perfect.
Perfect. Okay, well, that's good to hear. Now, as far as the other guys on the card goes, did you get a chance to kind of scout the talent and see who you might be facing here in the near future? Obviously, Scott Hudson is next, but did you get a chance to watch any of the fights?
Yeah, I did. I watched a little bit of Scott Hudson's fight. I was warming up here and there, and we had TVs in the back, so I was watching the fight a little bit. But I wasn't looking past my opponent. I wasn't even really focused about the fight. I was just watching that fight as of just a fan to, get my adrenaline going a little bit. And of course the other guys on the card, Cross and O'Connor. So I did. I think I watched their fight a little bit too. Uh, but at that time I was focused on my opponent. But yeah, I got Scott Hudson next. Um, I think I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think we're still far different levels.
Mhm. I've heard a lot of people say that you are the overwhelming favorite for this event here, this lightweight tournament. But when you look at Scott Hudson's skill set, like, do you just feel like you're going to be able to overwhelm him like you did Boye?
Yeah. Well, and I think anytime you could just look at the records itself and look at the records of our opponent's records. And, you would think I would have to be the favorite, right? And yeah, I did the same thing. I've looked at some of the guys he's fought. I've looked at the guys he's beat. I've looked at the guys he's lost to. And I even checked out a pretty cool stat. So, I got 7 losses, but you can look at all 7 losses and you know exactly who that guy is. You know exactly where he's fighting at, and the where like his contendership is in that organization. Most of them are UFC, but so I added up my last 5 losses, opponents combined record, and it come out to like 95-17. And now that's my last 5 losses, you know, 95-17. So that's a pretty ridiculous stat for opponents. And that's just saying I got 5 losses, but look at the guys that I fought, man. And ain't none of them beat me down. I lost a fight, but I didn't get destroyed by anybody.
So having said that, I mean, I even see you got the UFC T-shirt on right now, and I know we've talked before. The goal is to get right back to the top of the food chain, wherever that may be. Do you feel like you have to go out there and not just win, but dominate to really showcase yourself and show the world, Kurt Holobaugh deserves to be fighting at the top level?
Yeah, I think so. And, especially because I keep saying these guys aren't on my level. So I can't keep saying these guys are on my level and then go out and let a guy having a tough fight. Um, there's a reason that I ruled the local circuit before I went to the regional circuit, is because I already knew, if this guy can make a close fight, then I'm not ready to go to the UFC. I'm not ready to go to any of these bigger shows if these local guys give me fights. So that's almost a rule that I always gave myself, that I can't let these local guys last in a fight with me. I got to finish them, and I got to finish them in basically dramatic fashion to show that I belong to the next level. And I keep saying these guys aren't on my level. So I got to go in and I got to do the same thing to every guy that I face and show that.
And that's got to get the MMA fans out there excited for your next XFC fight, which again will be against Scott Hudson. Have they told you what the time frame is? I know Myron said that they're still kind of figuring out where they're going to hold the next event, but have they given you like, okay, it's going to be February or March?
You know what we kept hearing while we was down there, and we talked to a few different people, and they definitely said February, and it was going to be back in Atlanta. So I'm like, cool, that was good. I felt comfortable there, felt good. The way, like I said, the hotel was great. So if it's going to be in February in Atlanta, that's perfect. But I don't know. They hadn't reached out and told me anything different. So right now, I'm not hurt, no injuries, and I'm already training again. So I'm just going to keep going and just make sure I'm in shape for whenever they call and say it's time.
Fair enough. I know the fight's still a little ways out, but right now, how do you envision the fight with Scott Hudson ending?
Um, you know, of course, I don't think, and I'm not even going to try to go out there and beat 26 seconds. But like I said, I think, I'm just going to push the pace really hard and see if I can get this guy to break. If he doesn't break, then we may have a competitive fight. But like I said, I don't think he's ever fought anybody close to my level of fighter that I am. And I don't think he's ever fought anybody who's going to come out and push him like I'm going to push him. Pressure, pressure's a mother effort, right? So, whenever I go out there and I put that pressure on, he's going to know the difference.
Well, Kurt, you looked fantastic in this last fight at XFC 43, beating Joziro Boye in 26 seconds of the very first round. Congratulations. Always a pleasure talking to you, my man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. You want to plug your social media or anyone you want to thank? The floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure. All of my teammates, Gracie United Team Juke South, that helped me get ready for the fight. I wouldn't be in shape without those guys. My family, my friends, everybody that supports me, my sponsors, K-Ray Construction, Creole Tomato, Black and Brew, Poorhouse, which I'm about to go get some grub right now from one of those guys. And, on to the next one. And I'll see everybody next time.